Locals play pool at a venue in Mexico City's La Condesa neighborhood, Friday, September 22, 2017, 4 days after the 7.1 earthquake. The upscale Mexico City neighborhood was one of the hardest hit, with more than a half dozen collapsed buildings in the immediate vicinity. The few Condesa residents who ventured out Friday night said they were anxious for relief from an anguishing week. Nico Gonzalez, Associated Press, Mexico City. In the stylish Condesa neighborhood, young revelers typically spill out from dimly lit bars and restaurants on a Friday night. But the first weekend since a 7.1 magnitude earthquake toppled buildings just blocks away began on a somber note. Instead of crowds gathered with beers, small handfuls of rescue workers still dressed in reflective vests took breaks from digging through rubble. Entire restaurants with white linen tables were empty. Metal gates shuttered others. "It feels lifeless," said Mariana Aguilar, 27, a hostess at a bar and restaurant who stood waiting for guests yet to arrive. "I walk through these streets every day and you never imagine something like this would happen." The upscale Mexico City neighborhood was one of the hardest hit by the quake that killed at least 305 people, with more than a half dozen collapsed buildings in the immediate vicinity. The few Condesa residents who ventured out Friday night said they were anxious for relief from an anguishing week. "The city is still quite tense," said Israel Escamilla, an engineer, as he sipped a plastic cup filled with Coke at an empty bar. "But as good Mexicans, we have to keep lending support however we can." As rescue operations stretched into day 5, residents throughout the city held out hope that dozens still missing might be found alive. More than half the known dead, 167, perished in the capital. The long week's torment weighed heavy on rescuers and residents alike. Several of those gathered Friday night in Condesa said memories of the quake and worries for neighbors and victims were hard to escape. Dionisio Pelez, 57, the owner of a bike shop who has been helping collect donations, played pool with a dozen other men at a mostly empty restaurant. He said many of his neighbors lost their apartments. "We came to distract ourselves a bit," he said, his voice shaking. "This place is always full Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now it's empty." Copyright 2017 The Associated Press. All rights reserved. This material may not be published, broadcast, rewritten or redistributed.